In this episode, I'm going to share with you the secret to making it long-term as a fractional CMO. And let me tell you, the answer is fun. All right, let's go. Marketers of the world, why do we work hard to solve small problems? Why do we reinvent ourselves and our clients over and over? And why are we giving away marketing strategy for free? With advancements in AI, we're all seeing the marketing department shrink from the bottom up, and companies need you to serve them as their fractional chief marketing officer. It's time to solve bigger problems and bring home a bigger paycheck. It's time to create the lifestyle we deserve and to make a greater impact. This is the Fractional CMO Show, and I'm Casey Stanton. Join me as we explore this growing industry and learn to solve bigger problems as marketing leaders. The Fractional CMO Show is sponsored by CMOs, the #1 company to teach you how to attract, convert, and serve high-paying fractional CMO clients on your terms. Hey, it's Casey. So I was just on Facebook, just doing the thing, wasting time. And I saw an image of Jason Fladlien with Jeff Walker. If you don't know these guys, Jason Fladlien is kind of the webinar guy. I mean, he's the killer of webinars these days. He's making the best webinars. He's very successful in scripting webinars. If you know Alex Hormozi's work with his launches of the $100 million book series, at least the second launch, I guess I don't know this is a fact, but it was very heavily influenced by Fladlien, if not his approach directly. Fladlien is just a real killer in that. And he posted an image with Jeff Walker. And who's Jeff Walker? Jeff Walker is the founder of Product Launch Formula. He's out of Colorado. And he's just a guy who's been in the game a long time. In the game. What's the game? The game of business, the game of marketing. He's just been playing the game for a long time. And I sat down with Jeff Walker recently. It wasn't that recent. It was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And he and I got some time just to spend together. We were at an event together, and everyone was inside the event, and he was not. And I just went and sat with him, and we just chatted. And the big question I had for Jeff was just like, dude, how'd you do it for so long without really doing something different, right? He's been the product launch formula guy for forever, since his first product launch, and then he kind of packaged up how to do launches, and now he teaches launches. He's just been doing it forever. Like, that's his life. That's what he does. When you think of Jeff Walker, if you know him, you think of product launch formula. You might think of his platinum mastermind, which, okay, that makes sense. But like the people in that mastermind, the core of what they do is product launches based on Jeff's work. Jeff is the launch guy. He just shows up and he's the launch guy. There's value in that. Jeff hasn't been reinventing himself. We can look at all these other marketers. You know who they are. Every 3 months, 6 months, they change what they're selling and they're doing something new. We see this with people in our lives. People who are like, hey, I'm going to be a doctor. And then they study for med school. And then they, right after they get the acceptance letter, they're like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be a lawyer. Then they study for law school. And then, or they're going to start a job. They buy the domain and they build a website and then they don't do the sale. And then they let it fall. There's just these people that keep inventing and then letting it go, trying and then letting it go. And it's exhausting, I'm sure, for them. It's probably really exhausting for their spouses. And it's kind of like a whiplash for the customers. I mean, I can think of a marketer who constantly comes out with new stuff all the time. Like, how much time is he spending creating new? And how much is he telling himself, this is the thing that finally will give me the money and freedom I want? And if he just was like steady and just did one thing consistently for years, for decades, and was far better than everyone else, like that's all the money he would need. But instead, he's just like jumping around. So how do you stay in one place, but get better? That's the game here. So the secret to making it as a fractional CMO is step one, commit. Like, you have to commit. If you're listening to this, I want you to commit to yourself. I'm going to be a fractional CMO, or I'm a fractional CMO and nothing's going to change my mind. Like, I'm just here. Like, that's so important to commit, one. And then after you commit, the game is to outwork everybody else. I could, when I was in my 20s, man, I could outwork everybody. I could work 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day. I could do whatever I needed to do. I could just grind it out. Then I got married. Then I had kids. Then I got an old house that has problems that we have to fix. I've got someone coming in 2 weeks to replace our boiler. Like, Now I don't have the time, but I still have the commitment, and my commitment far exceeds the commitment of other people in the space, I think. Right? Maybe other people are as committed as me. I don't know. But you can't be more committed, right? It's binary. I'm committed and I'm not changing, or I don't know, I'm kind of porous. Like maybe I'm in, maybe I'm out. Some days I feel it, some days I don't. If you're just going to work every day, you're going to get better. But the missing piece, the third step of it is you have to have fun. And I said this at the beginning of the episode. The secret is fun. It is. It's to have fun. Let me tell you what it looks like to have fun. What it looks like to have fun is to like enjoy marketing, like to just actually enjoy it, just to kind of be a nerd about it. And there's something that you enjoy. And it doesn't matter to me what part of marketing it is. Maybe you're like the data analytic person. And you're like, whoa, I really love these types of how we collect data and how we can like put it in these repositories, data lakes, how we can pull data out of it. Maybe you're really into that in the technical side of stuff. And you like to talk about things like RudderStack or Amazon S3 buckets or Tableau. Like you live in that world and you want to understand that. Other people, you nerd out about messaging and you see a good ad and you're like, man, that just makes me feel a way. I love the messaging here. That's it for me, right? Like maybe that's the way that you feel. Others of you are really into ads. Like you just love the ad game. You love kind of what's changing and how Meta's changing stuff. Others really love the AI thing. Others really love just helping their clients out. There's like something that you love about what you do. And if you can find a way to just play, I think you're going to be successful. Just play. Where can you play? And to me, playtime is as important as build work to clients, like client service time. I treat my play very seriously. My desk will probably always be incredibly messy. I don't love it, right? But it's like where I am in life right now. I have like toys and stuff to play with and things to learn from. You know, I've got this direct mail piece from Alex Hormozi that he sent out. 5 reasons you should come to the $100 million Money Models live launch event. This is a single page that he mailed, QR code on it, URL. It's great. It's great. It's like a handwritten font on it. He like signs it with a Sharpie, it looks like. There's just so much good about this. I read something like this and I'm just like, ooh, I like that. That's fun for me. And then I take this idea and I say like, how do I play with it? Let me tell you an example of playing. You like kind of surround yourself with the stuff that you like. And then you just like create derivatives of it for fun, not for profit, for fun. And you know this, like you tell yourself, I'm not charging money for this. So in the ham radio space, there's this thing, if you want to do remote Morse code to your radio, you have a Flex radio like I have, I've got this little device. It's called a CTR2 Flex, if you want to look it up. And this guy, Lynn, makes them. His company's Linnovations. And I didn't really get it. Like I read the website, I didn't get it because Lynn's a technical guy. So one day I'm just like, hanging out and I'm like, I'm going to write the dude a sales page. And I just wrote it. And I wrote a fun sales page that was kind of like fun and off the cuff. And it was just fun for me. And I was just playing and I sent it to him. I didn't hear back from him. I don't know if he read it. I don't know if he thought it was good or bad or whatever. I don't care. I'm having fun. I'm playing, right? I'm just like going outside and I'm painting I'm carving something out of snow. Right? I'm carving something out of ice. I'm painting on the sidewalk with chalk. I'm just playing. Right? I don't know if that's anything. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not even going to look at it again. It was fun. It was playful. I'm enjoying it. For some of you, you're like into vibe coding. I talked to one of our members yesterday and he was sharing some really cool stuff that he's doing to vibe code. And he built some apps and he's like, these apps work. Now, I don't know if the apps can get bigger than he owns a couple franchise locations of a larger franchise. He's like, they're helping our franchise. I don't know if they could help the other ones. I'm sure they could, but I have to hire a developer, yada, yada. But like, I don't care about the utility of the app because I'm not in the game of building apps. I'm not in the game of writing winning ads, but I'm in the game of playing and having fun and just like enjoying the work that I do because that's going to keep me engaged. People who lose are the ones who have to grind and it's not fun. Sure, you can be like unhinged and work for 3 weeks or something on a project just to get it out. When I think of like this book that I wrote, the second one, Find Your CMO, man, I just had to focus on it. And it was hard to find the joy in the writing, to be honest with you. The concepts, coming up with the concepts, that was fun. But the actual like writing of the stuff and the transitions and like the formatting and all that stuff, like I lost the fun in it. Okay. If I'm going to lose the fun, but I have to do something, I want to make sure that I can play alongside of it. And this isn't play outside of work. This is play in work. This is play in the work that you do. So when it comes to like creating content, if you ask me, Casey, like, how do I like win clients? And I say, well, you got to go talk to strangers, but then also you have to stay in touch with strangers. Here's the secret. You might be a stranger to me, and I'm staying in touch with you through a podcast. It's a modality that I enjoy, and I have fun with it. I have fun making podcast episodes. This becomes a fun creative outlet for me. Would longer form emails be better? I don't know, maybe. Would social media content be better? I mean, certainly would help if I did that, but that's not fun for me. I don't live in a world right now where I want to like record stuff and make videos, like social media videos. I'm just not doing it right now. If that's you and you're like, I want to do that, I'm the kind of person who can do that, I have an interesting lifestyle where that might be fun, or I'm traveling or whatever, then by all means do it. Play, have fun. You don't have to commit forever to make social media content. You can say, hey, for the next month, I'm going to play and just see what this is like. And you give yourself the permission to play and to kind of announce it publicly that you're playing and you're having fun. There's a great, there's a guy that I worked with in the past, Paul Culligan, and he helps people with podcasts. And Paul's approach is, if you're starting a podcast, just state that you're starting a season 1, and it has some number of episodes. It's a 10-episode series. You got 10 eps to make. At the end of those 10 episodes, you just sit back and relax and say, did I like it? Did I not like it? Am I going to do 10 more eps? Should I just keep going? Should I stop? Should I rethink how I do this? Whatever. But it's like commit for the time, kind of play. It doesn't have to be all that serious, and then see what happens. I want to work with people that find a sense of play and fun in their work. And you're going to do that if there are little watering holes in your day where you get to play. So where is it for you? I've been playing a lot with like vibe coding. I think that's cool. I really love copywriting. I kind of have this virus where I really like marketing. I just like a lot of stuff about marketing. And I just want to play. I just want to get into it and play and find new things to do. One way that you can play is with pricing. We had a member who wanted to sell something at 8K. And thought that she was going to get pushed down, like negotiated by the client. They felt like they were the kind of client that was going to negotiate. So I said, well, you should probably pitch them at 10 and then they can walk you to 8. So she does it. And then she messages back like the next day and says, I closed him at 10, right? It's kind of a game. That's fun. That's playing, right? That's like, 8,000. I'm going to charge 10. Boom, she gets 10. And then what does she do the next week? She messages and says, I just closed one for 15. It's playful. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a cool place to be. It's good energy. It's just like, you're not looking for just boring justification that I sold this one at 8. So therefore the next one needs to be at 8.5 or 9,000 a month or 10,000 or whatever. It's just like, let's have a game. Let's play. I just recently shared with our CMOs, like how you can price, and there's like different ways to price. But the way that I like to price is I like to have fun. Just like choose something I want in life. Oh, I want this thing. I have an ancient Roman carving of a figure's head, and I have it just outside of camera view. It's like this old kind of artifact. It's cool. I don't know. I think it's neat. Something that could be in a museum. And one day I wanted that. I was like, something like that would be cool. Let me find something. Oh, cool. All right, the next client I sell, I'm going to charge my normal fee plus whatever this thing would cost me, but that I'll just make that an ongoing monthly fee. Just having fun. So now I have this as like an amulet, like as a reminder of what I've done. You need to do stuff like that. You need to have fun. You need to make this kind of a joyful experience for you. And you got to find where your fun is. And I'm not here to tell you that you have to have fun in a certain way. I was in Newport Beach a year ago this week. And I remember there's this placard on a building that was all about, the address was 2600, and just like the Hacker Quarterly, if anyone knows that. And then it said above it, something along the lines of, don't interrogate your pleasures. Like, if you enjoy it, just enjoy it. Go and play. Have fun. Don't be like, why do I enjoy this stuff? What is it about the tension of it that creates the dopamine? Like, don't play that game. Just find the joyful thing that it is for you. For some of you, it's probably like design. Like you're a nerd for design. You're a nerd for video stuff, audio quality. I don't care. It doesn't matter where you nerd out. It matters that you do nerd out, that you get to play and have fun. And if you don't have a joy in the work that you do, find it. Find that corner of marketing that's interesting or fun for you. Because I think of myself as someone who's in this game committed for the long haul. I'm going to be a fractional CMO forever, but I'm going to have more and more fun. And the problems I'm going to solve are going to get bigger and bigger. My rewards are going to get bigger and bigger. And the fun I'm going to have is going to get bigger and bigger. That's all. And like, I think it's a real way to play this game. I think of entrepreneurs who create rules that let them lose. I want you to remember that you deciding to be a fractional CMO is you inventing a game. It's like you inventing a literal board game that you're going to play every day for maybe the rest of your life, right? And you write rules in. Rule number 1, I have to work so hard it hurts me. I have to charge money in a way that feels kind of weird and icky. I have to do certain things and sometimes implement for clients, and I have to feel bad about it. Like, why would you write those rules? Just change the rules of the game. Just like reinvent them. I like this idea of like, I have the right to reinvent who I am at any moment in my life. In the middle of an argument with my wife, I could say, wait 1 second, I'm just changing who I am. I'm not that person anymore. I'm this person. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I see that now, right? Like I can move past the shell of who I was. Benjamin Hardy, in his book, Personality Isn't Permanent, goes on to say that the personality that you think you had in like high school, you just aren't that person anymore. It really isn't a permanent thing. You might believe that it's similar, but it really isn't. Like you've changed dramatically. So how have you changed? And also like, why don't you just choose who you're going to be and just kind of go be that person? It's a cool book to read. I love all of Ben's books. I can't think of any I don't like. So certainly like scaling.com or Scaling, The Science of Scaling, his new one. It's great. That said, you got to play. You got to find the place to play. In our boardroom WhatsApp, which has been blowing up today. I mean, we've had like 60 messages. It's been a crazy day. One of our members was going to an event, and she was she was somewhere, and there was an event happening, and she kind of caught wind of it and was like, should I go or not? Like I was going to go hang out in town, but there's an event happening at the hotel. Should I go? I was like, yeah, you should go. Like, any words of encouragement or words of advice? And it's like, yeah, here's the game I play. I've never said anyone else. I've never told anyone else this game. I'm just like curious. I like to meet people, have fun. But if you like can't find it, you're bored, you're tired, or whatever, just see if the person has a gold tooth. Just talk to them and get them to open their mouth enough to see if they have a gold tooth. It's a stupid game, right? But like, go play it. It's kind of a fun one. You can just like go around and talk to people and just kind of see where the conversation goes and who has a gold tooth or not. I don't know. It's a stupid game. It's fun. It makes me have fun. It's kind of like a little joke I have for myself. Like, ooh, this is a fun one. It's that kind of thing. No one wants to talk to someone who's not having fun. No one wants to talk to someone who's like not a nerd on this stuff. I reached out to someone today to hire them on Upwork. And he was just like, yeah, send this over. And then like very formally, like, I'll need 2 hours to review it and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, it doesn't seem like this is fun for you. So I just like withdrew my offer to him and I found someone else that's like way more fun, upbeat, excited to work together. I want to work with that person. People want to work with you when you're having fun. Let me go beyond that though. Having fun isn't just about having fun. Having fun is about playing to find the innovation. Okay, so hear me out. I picked up some, they're from a company called LilyGo, and they are the 2.13-inch e-ink screens. And they're these like little screens, like a Kindle, like that e-ink. You know how like you can turn it off, but you can still read everything on the Kindle. It's that technology on a little board that you can program. And I picked him up and I was like, I got some ideas for this. So I vibe coded some stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. It's just like a couple hours of just like punching the keyboard and getting code and trying to install it and watching YouTube videos and whatever. Never have done it before. I'd never pushed a sketch through the Arduino app onto the hardware before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it doesn't matter. But it was the first time for me. So I'm like playing and playing and playing, and I get something that works. I was like, cool. And then I was like, oh, I wanted to do something else with it. And I get that to work. And then I'm like, oh, what if I could get this data? Like the Philadelphia bus schedule, because I have a bus stop near me, and can I figure out when the bus comes? And like, that's an API. So it's like, I'm just curious and I'm playing. Is there actual utility for that in my life? No, not really, but it's play. What did that lead to? That led to me then playing with this thing. This is the Seed Studio Xiao ESP32 S3 Sense board, and it has an onboard microphone. And I was like, well, I wonder if I could write some code. And again, I didn't write it, but can I write some code that just like records my voice? And then, wait, what's the model that does voice transcription? Oh, OpenAI has one. It's called Whisper. Interesting. So I have a computer. I keep it, in my basement. It's like my server computer that I just run some software on. So like, cool. I'll put Whisper on that. And I'm like asking ChatGPT, like, how do I code it so that the audio gets downloaded and sent over the Wi-Fi to that and then gets transcribed? And then the transcription, I want it saved to a file. That was a fun project. Did I make any money from that? No. But what did I learn from it? So many things. I learned just like the big idea of like capture data. Like, oh, what are the vectors in my life where there's data? Voice is a major vector in my life. A lot of my voice conversations are happening through Zoom calls, but also I'm having some with my wife. I'm having some with my kids. Oh, interesting. Is it useful? Is there utility in being able to capture that data? I don't know. Maybe not, right? Maybe for you, there's utility. And I saved it all locally to a markdown file. And then I sync that as a backup with sync things to GitHub. Fun stuff, just playing, just learning. And like, am I trying to be a hardware engineer? Absolutely not. Am I trying to be a software engineer? Absolutely not. Like, there's no way. I'm never going to be that person, but I'm playing. So then comes up some innovative ideas that I had about a marketing thing. And I was like, whoa, wait, what about this idea? And then I go to ChatGPT and I do the talking thing, like where I can just chat with my little agent. And I just ask her some questions and she starts guiding me. And I find some YouTube videos and I watch it while I'm making coffee in the morning. And by the end of the day, I have an MVP for something that's actually revolutionary for me. Like, that's actually useful. And is this something that I'm going to like share with other people? Like, probably not. Is it something personal to me, but useful and maybe can make me a lot of money? Like, yeah, probably. Like, that's so cool for me. I never could have got there because I had to be at a level of understanding of how hardware and software works and AI tools and vibe coding before I could even come up with this marketing innovation that could be useful to me. I played along the way. And if I started and said, hey, I'm going to program this e-ink display, if I started there and said, and I want to find a way to make money from it, like I just wasn't going to do it. So I just like dropped this need to like make money. And instead I played. I just like let it all go. I'm just going to have some fun. I'm just going to screw around and see what happens. That's all. And it's exciting for me that play can inevitably lead to a breakthrough, an innovation, a success, but also it can just lead to like more infectious energy. So I don't want to sell you the idea that play so that you can innovate and find something that's new and different and valuable. I want to sell you the idea that when you play, you become the playful person that people feel good around, that brings good energy, where you're actually engaged, where it's not feeling like you're handcuffed to this business and you're forced to do stuff, but instead you get to actually enjoy the work that you do. So maybe this for you is like, you got like some arts degree, or you wish you had an arts degree, but you couldn't afford it, or you got a poli-sci degree like me and you wish you didn't. And you're just like, you know what I want to do? I just want to make some logos. How fun would that be? Man, I love it. I've seen, and maybe you've seen these too, like on TikTok or YouTube or whatever the social media drug is. There's a guy who finds like signs that people put up, like house cleaning from Linda. And it's just like a boring, almost clip art style thing. And he just takes it and he makes a video of him just reinventing the whole thing and just replaces the ugly one with the beautiful one. All of Linda's information, but it's like beautiful branding and beautiful layout. Like, how fun is that? He's just playing. Think about how good he's getting at his craft because he's continuing to do the work instead of just living in the world of like, all I can do is prospect. I think when you get interested, things happen. Let me give you another example from me. A couple years ago, must have been 4 years ago, 5 years ago, on that big crypto boom, um, I found a project that I thought was interesting, and it was inside of a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO. And it was a big one at the time. It was called Olympus. They're still around, but it didn't work out. But that doesn't matter. And a DAO is interesting because I think of it as an interesting structure, a decentralized autonomous organization. I think there's a future to it. If you want to get nerdy and talk about future stuff, I think there's a time in the future, I don't know when, but I think it could happen, where you wake up and you look at a device and it says, these are the jobs that are available to you. Do you want to do any of them? And you say yes or no. And you say yes at this rate. And if they say, okay, cool, like your rate wins based on your ability to perform well, yada, yada, like you get awarded the job and then you can do the work, whatever that job is. For simplicity, we can say it's your delivery driver. These are the packages that need to get picked up and dropped off. Which ones do you want? What's your cost for it? And then does the algorithm accept your bid or not? Okay. A decentralized autonomous organization could run that way inside of a smart contract. It's interesting. I think it's cool. So I was like interested in Olympus. I was interested in the whole DAO structure. So I was just playing and I put some money into Olympus and I was just having some fun, just learning, got my cold storage wallets, just like was playing the whole game on crypto, trying to get nerdy. Like, how do contracts work? What's this whole solidity thing? And as I'm like diving into it, I get onto the Discord for Olympus. And I don't remember how, but ultimately I got into the the team's Discord for the workers, and I proposed that I would help them with marketing. And I got to help and coach a company with their marketing release. I did kind of like a initial coin offering, an ICO, kind of. It wasn't a full ICO, but got a pseudo. I got to do that. And they paid me in DAO tokens. So I made the token of the DAO that I was inside of. I only made like $3,000 worth, right? It was just like a first gig with it, and it was just for a month, and then it kind of petered out for some reasons. But it was so interesting. Like, I just was learning so much about crypto, about what would happen if you had to launch a business and you couldn't use someone's face, and you actually hid who they were, and you had to like prove the validity of a concept or of a product without ever being able to back it up with like people, or if no one could sue you, right? Like, there's no suing that really happens in crypto. I mean, maybe there is, but it's just like it's based on a system of trust, and like a smart contract manages that trust ecosystem. I just found it to be fascinating, and it forever changed the way I see how organizations can get built. I would say that is fundamental to my understanding of like how I want to run a marketing department, which is like, I want it centralized because I want to be the guy who's in charge of all of the output, right? But I want the team below me to feel kind of decentralized. I don't need them all in an office in Chicago. I want them wherever they are, at whatever the fee that is appropriate for the client is, and I want specific work to get done. So in that way, I played, and I made some money, which was cool. The token went to zero, and I effectively made nothing from it. But at the time, the spot value was like $3,000. But I got to play. I got to play and learn something new. And let's say like that bull run continued, and maybe I got into more projects. That could have been a very lucrative place to be. Do I look back at that and say that's a failure? Absolutely not. I think it is such a strength that I have, that I get to go in and play and meet these people whose names, I'll never remember. But like, I used a pseudonym on Discord, and I set up my own Proton Mail email. And I later worked with a company that was a direct competitor to Proton Mail, and I had a deep understanding of how Proton Mail worked. So did I win that gig because of my relationship to using competitor software? Maybe. They were like, oh, he's technical, he gets this stuff. That makes sense. Right? Like, there's something interesting there. Talked to a member recently who is Southeast Asian and was invited to a Y Combinator of sorts to help judge who should be accepted into a incubator, right? Like a startup incubator. Who should be allowed in, and then how do you support them and that kind of stuff, and how to advise. Like, that's a fun place to be. Do you make money by being there on the front end? No, but you're playing, you're meeting with folks, you're reviewing stuff, you're in the middle of deal flow. You get to see what's happening in the innovations in the market. That's fun. If you're the kind of person that finds that to be fun, I would love to be like 15-minute call with someone. Hey, tell me about your business, yada, yada, yada. Call the other guy. Hey, I talked to them. I don't think that they're not the one. I'm going to vote no confidence, right? Or this is the guy, this is the team, this is the girl. These are the people that we want to invest in. I vote yes to these folks. That might be really fun. And those things can move forward and other things can happen. So fun is such a precursor for success. If you're not having fun, I'm not going to say you won't be successful, but your success won't be fun. You say like, oh, but if I have the money, then I can have the fun. It's like, sure. But then you like kind of hate going to work on Monday. Man, Monday morning, I'm just like stoked to go to work. I don't want to be late. Like I am excited to show up and work because when I work, I get to have fun. And also that fun is rewarded with money. And the more fun I have, it seems the more money I make, right? And it just kind of keeps going. It doesn't say I don't work hard. This week has been incredibly hard for me. I've worked more this week than I have any other week in the last, 6 months. It's been a long one for me, but I won't work tomorrow because tomorrow's Friday and I take Fridays off. Or maybe I'll jump on a call. In the accelerator, we do a call every Friday and we've got a coach that leads that call. And last Friday, I was like, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to have some fun. I'll be there 15, 20 minutes and I'll dip. And I did. And it was fun. That's the kind of stuff you can do. You can create these opportunities to jump in, have fun, leave, right? And it doesn't have to feel high stakes. So the secret of longevity, the secret to making it as a fractional CMO is to have fun. And you got to find how you have fun. And there is no wrong way to have fun. You can have fun by like reviewing the P&L. Maybe that's fun for you. It's got to be fun for someone, right? Some CPAs love that stuff. Maybe you got that. Maybe you find that fun. Maybe what you find fun is playing the game of business. Man, that's fun. We're talking about that right now. In Boardroom, we've got a member who wants to work with a company that doesn't have the money today, but likely will soon because they're doing a big raise. And he's like, how do I play the game here? What a fun question to have. Here's all the ways that you could play it. Which one feels real? Which one feels right? Which one do you want to try on? How much risk do you want to shoulder? It's fun to play that game. And when they come in really gripped and like kind of holding their breath, like, I got to make this one work. Like, that's not as fun. But if they like relax and have fun and they're like, ooh, what's in best interest for the client? If it was a crazy outcome and I got everything I wanted, what would that look like? What's the least I'm willing to take? And you're playing it and you're just like, then going in front of the client and they don't know all the work you've done and you pitch something and you see what they say. And, it's a dance. When you're having fun in this stuff, it's going to feel better for everybody. That doesn't mean that you don't prepare really well. That doesn't mean that you wing it. That's not what this is about. It's about enjoying the work and finding these little rabbit holes that you can dig into. I still think like a buddy of mine, Bill, came to visit me a couple years ago when I lived in Fishtown, and we were up on my roof deck hanging out, like kind of like in a row home. And he pulled out this huge antenna and this stupid radio, and he starts doing all this dumb stuff. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I remember saying that, like, dude, I think that's kind of dumb, right? And then, like, for whatever reason, I got into it, and now I'm into this ham radio thing, whatever. And it's like all of this stuff that I can play with, but they're all interesting adventures to play with. And it's just like, it's just playing. It's like, oh, how does that work? Oh, what's that idea? Oh, how does that work? How does frequency shift modulation work? Well, that sounds interesting in the ham radio space, but did you know that's also Gibberlink? And Gibberlink is how two AIs can communicate, and they can communicate faster using Gibberlink, which sounds like a dial-up modem, talking to one another. They can talk faster, literally exchange more information, about 1.5 times more information in the same amount of time than the human voice can. That's just interesting. I never would have understood how Gibberlink worked if I didn't really understand frequency shift modulation. So I think those things are like connected. And do I do anything with that? Have I actually used Gibberlink before? No, I never have. But I'll tell you today, I was on a call with a new client, and I was talking to their CRM, person at their CRM. And there was a technical thing that I identified. So here's what it is. The company, the client, they run Facebook ads. Those ads have the instant form, right? Facebook instant form. Someone fills out the instant form and hits submit. The instant form refreshes and says, thank you, your submission has been accepted. will be in contact, whatever it says. Then that lead form pushes into the CRM. The CRM looks, does it have first name, last name, email, phone? Phone number is malformed. If phone number is malformed, reject the lead. The CRM was rejecting, from what I can tell right now, between 10 and 20% of all meta leads because of malformed phone numbers. And I don't have the full answer on why. It's either because it's a text field for phone number and it doesn't pass over correctly, something like that. Or the other one is that people just don't want to put their phone number. They just put a bunch of zeros in or something. But inside of the CRM, I get an error, lead not created. I get an email notification, lead not created. And I get no paper trail. I can't look into a log file. The log just says, at this time, a lead was not created. And it just says failed. But I don't know, give me the information on the lead. Can I have their first name, last name, and email? So if you can imagine, 10 to 20% of all leads are getting rejected. I don't think I'm special. I think most decent CMOs would have found that problem out pretty quickly. But I instantly had the solution. The solution's clear to me. I need to get the Facebook lead form to push the data somewhere that it can have a validation check for phone number. And then that validation check then pushes that into the CRM. That's the solution. Do I know how to solve it myself? Maybe if I spend some time with ChatGPT or Claude Code or whatever, maybe I could come up with a solution. Maybe. I'd like to think I could, but I won't. But I'm not going to. I'm going to go find a developer to do it because this is too important to get wrong. It's too important for me to fuss around with it. But I could identify the problem and the solution because I've played with other things, because I kind of understand how data flows and webhooks versus APIs and things like that. So I asked the guy, I talked to a guy today at that CRM company, and I was just like, hey, this is the thing that's happening. He's like, I don't know what to say. I was like, cool. Do you have a webhook or is it just the API? He's like, well, I don't know. It's like, okay, I have the API documentation. How do I get my token for it? He's like, I don't know. I have to talk to the dev team. But I get to push all of that stuff forward because I've played and have an understanding of technical stuff. And I would say that directly related is that first e-ink screen when I did the SEPTA bus tracker, what are the next 3 buses that are coming to the bus stop? That pulls off of the public API at SEPTA. It was my playfulness with that allowed me to understand how APIs work and how I can query them, which then allows me to understand deeper, more accurately what the problem is for the client and propose a solution. And again, my solutions are big picture. My solution is the idea of we need a red house here, right? It's not first we need to find land that looks like blah, 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 and then we need to come up with the plans and do all this stuff. It's no, what it looks like when it's done is the lead, 100% of all leads go through. And if the phone number is malformed, then the phone number is stripped and, maybe we have a checkbox that says do not SMS on it or something like that. But I could come up with the solution, which is to solve bigger problem. And then what's the small problem? The small problem is me going to Upwork and finding a developer and being like, hey, this happens. I need you to pull these leads out from the lead center in Meta, clean them up, and then push them into the CRM. You got it? And they're like, cool, got it. They can do all the hard work, but I had to first kind of identify the problem and create the actual solution, which is to hire a developer to create the solution. So remember, we solve bigger problems, and then we delegate everything except leadership. This one problem that I identified for the client, I started on Tuesday. I recorded this here on Thursday. This problem that I identified is going to cover my whole fee. Just to think that they're going to get 10 to 20% more leads just because of a solution that I made is a massive improvement. And again, who I was 6 months ago, I don't know if I would have understood this as clearly. Right? I didn't understand how things worked the same way. I've been playing. And we live in this incredible world where you can just vibe code and play. And if you're stuck, you talk to ChatGPT and you can just hang out and have fun and play. Just play. If you want to be successful as a fractional CMO, play. Just play. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Find an avenue to play. I don't think you need to become technical like me. Right? I don't think you need to go play in this world. Although some of you want to. We've got some members that are vibe coding, making some cool apps. Others that are honestly probably just chasing their tail. creating a new feature, and then once they test that feature, another feature breaks, and then they go fix that other feature, then a third feature breaks. Right? They're just like chasing their tail. Maybe that's not useful for them, but who am I to say that that game that they're playing of trying to develop some app isn't actually useful in helping them grow their brain and understand how the world works? That's ultimately what we're after, is a better understanding of how the world works. I am willing to pay in time and in money to shortcut my way to learn how the world actually works. And one way that I do that is just play with stuff and see how it works. Do you know how it works? For Halloween, I bought single addressable LEDs on a strip. They're called WS2818B LEDs. Okay, this strip, one little block has 3 LEDs in it, and with code you can make it any color you want. So I have this reel of them. I have a bunch of stuff on top of it, so I can't show it on the camera right now. But I got that, and I have this breakout box, and the breakout box has on it, I don't even remember what this thing is, but it's like a little microchip, microcontroller thing. Here it is. And then I put one of these Xiao ESP32 boards on it, and I got a bench power supply, and I tried to get things working for my kid's Halloween costume. I had this big idea for it. And I burned out my first set of LEDs. I just fried them all. I couldn't figure out why they wouldn't turn on. And so I just turned up the amperes, and they burned out. One was on, and then it turned off, and then it started clicking. And it's not good when electronics start to make click sounds when there's no reason for them to click. So the magic smoke had disappeared, and I had to throw those away. Was that a failure? No, it wasn't a failure. I learned a lot. Was it expensive? Sure. It cost me $25 for that roll of LEDs, but I learned something. So that lesson's worth something. So then I got the next set, and I realized that I need to do some stuff to mitigate the voltage for the LEDs versus the voltage for the microcontroller. One could handle 5 volts. The other one could move up to 20 volts, something like that. I forget. So I tried it. Ultimately, I failed. It's a failed project still on my workbench on my desk, and I didn't do it. But I'm a little bit smarter. I'm a little more frustrated, but I'm a little bit smarter. I understand how this stuff works a little bit better. And that's useful to me. How am I going to use it, and when am I going to use it? I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to use it, but it's useful. It's fun. It's playful. Like this Alex Hormozi letter. I grabbed it from the mail, and it's going in my swipe file. I just keep a collection of good mail in my swipe file because it's fun, because it just feels cool to have this stuff and look at it and be like, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Right? Just find the thing in marketing that lights you up and just nerd out on it. I am going to be more successful and higher paid, and I'm going to have more fun because I'm staying in the game longer. I'm focusing on playing the game of business, having fun, and working with great clients. It is inevitable that these things will come true. And the same is true for you. Also, it is true for you and for me if you change your mind often, change industries, change niches, change your title, fractional CMO to I just want to do AI development to I just want to do copywriting to I want to be a StoryBrand certified guide to whatever. If you keep jumping back and forth to all these different things, that might feel like fun, but it's fun outside the realm of commitment. So it's commit for the long haul, forever, for the rest of your life, commit to one thing, commit to your spouse, commit to your kids, commit to your health, commit to a role. That's what I'm talking about. Commit, and then find a way to have fun. Imagine having kids and not having fun. You're saying, hey, this is just going to be work for the next 18 years or 20 years or whatever. That would suck. So why would you commit to a title or a role and not bake in fun? You bake in time with your kids and your spouse to have fun. Date nights, go to the movies, go to the circus, go wherever. My kids right now are at IKEA with my wife, and I know that they are having a great time, right? My wife bakes in fun stuff. Why wouldn't you bake in fun stuff to your commitment to work? It would be silly not to. So do it. Find something that you want to nerd out on. Buy the thing. Get anything that opens you up into it. Take the class. Go to Udemy. Go to YouTube. I follow some YouTubers now, and it's that's all I watch on YouTube is just their new video content. And sometimes I skip it because it's not for me. But sometimes I watch it. There's one that I watched the other day. I find interesting. This sounds crazy. Homemade rockets, homemade super fast drones. Super fast. I'm talking hundreds of miles an hour drones. And I saw a guy who built one last night. They hit like 500 kilometers an hour. It's the fastest drone. And it's like homemade. A guy and his dad made it. Now they're probably like very experienced rocket engineers, scientists, whatever. But it's like, I still want to learn how it worked. Like, what was the props? What were the learning lessons? Like that kind of stuff. I find that fascinating. So you can find those holes on the internet that you can dive into that are deep, that you learn stuff from, and it doesn't have to be directly applicable. You can nerd out about anything you want, but it's going to make you smarter. I remember when I got hired at the dental service organization that I worked at, they said to me, like, why are you interested in dentistry? And I thought to myself, I was like, well, like the real answer is because like all health in our body starts with oral health. Like I knew that to be true. That was something like I had read someone say, and I was like, I internalized it. And I was like, that's the answer. Like, that's the answer to me. I have a duty to keep my teeth clean, my gums clean, floss, brush, all the stuff. It's just like a belief that I had. And it was just like me kind of playing and learning about dentistry and like teeth cleaning. And, I fell down a rabbit hole for an hour or two on some YouTube videos, and I heard someone say that. And that became a line that probably very directly won me that client, like separated me from the pack. It was like I was a nerd. And they were like, no one else has said that. No one else really believes in dentistry. And the business owner was just like a nerd for dentistry. He's in private equity, but he was like a nerd for dentistry. So you never know where you're going to find those nerds. And like nerds respect nerds. I love anyone who's committed to anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're into like underwater basket weaving. I don't care if you love to collect cats. I don't care what it is, but like nerd out, have fun, be interested in it. If you're really into copywriting, you collect all the great copy from all the greats. There's a great marketer, Sean Vosler, and he posts these like his recent grabs that he's gotten. So he'll like go to a bookstore, like a used bookstore, and he'll get the first edition of Jim Rohn's book on whatever. He'll get the first edition of Think and Grow Rich, like that kind of stuff. He's a nerd for that. I love that. That's playful. That's interesting. That's like a game. Like, ooh, can I go get the first edition of whatever? It's not for me. I don't really want that, right? But I definitely have like some cool cameras that I've amassed over the years that I like to play with and have fun with, and they tend to spark conversations when I use them. So it's just like have fun in life, have fun in work, make work fun part of your commitment to work. If you do it, you're going to outlast everybody else because everyone else is going to quit because they're not having fun. When times are tough, you're like, yeah, times are tough, but I'm still having fun. And they're like, times are tough and everything sucks. You're like, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to maybe have a client, but I'm going to stay in the game longer because I'm having fun and I'm innovating and I'm learning. And maybe that's going to turn into a relationship and introduction or whatever. All right. All right. Thanks for sticking with me. And if you want my help having fun, seeing what I'm doing, seeing what other people are doing, seeing the tools that we're using, seeing how AI works for a fractional CMO and how we can leverage it, how you can build a fractional CMO practice, get this, where you get paid and you take that money and you put it in your pocket and that's it. And you don't have to take that money out and go pay vendors or marketing technicians or contractors or whatever. You just get paid and keep it. And then you build and lead the marketing department with the client's money. If you want that lifestyle where you start playing games of saying, I want 8, so I'm going to pitch it at 10. Whoops, I closed it at 10. Maybe the next one I'll close at 15. And then you do it. If you want to do that kind of stuff and be in a community of other people doing it, oof, nothing like what we got going on here at CMOX. So go ahead and book a call in, cmox.co/call. Book in a call. See if you're a good fit. And if you're the kind of person that we want to be around and you want to be around us, see if you got the vibe that we're looking for. All right. I'll see you later. Take care. Thank you for sticking around for the full episode. As you know, learners are earners, but you've got to take action on what you heard today. For more information and show notes, visit fractionalcmoshow.com. If you'd like me to answer your questions on an upcoming episode, you can share your question at fractionalcmoshow.com. And last, please hit the like and subscribe button so that I know that this content is helpful to you. All right, go get them.